The movie opens in a deeply somber and unsettling atmosphere. Two young sisters stand silently in front of their mother's lifeless body. The elder sister is Spider, and beside her is her much younger sister. Their mother died the previous night after consuming an excessive amount of drugs. Addiction had already taken over her life long ago, and this time, her body could not survive it. The girls are overwhelmed with grief and shock, unable to understand how everything ended so suddenly. With trembling hands and broken hearts, the sisters make a horrifying decision. Fearing what will happen if anyone finds out, they quietly lift their mother's body and hide it inside an old trunk kept in a nearby shed. Before the trunk is closed, the younger sister breaks down completely. She cries and tells her mother how much she loves her, then removes her mother's locket as a final memory and keeps it with herself. Spider, on the other hand, is not only grieving, but also terrified. She knows that if the authorities discover their mother's death, child services will separate them. Losing her sister is something Spider cannot accept under any circumstances. So she decides that they will pretend their mother is still alive. The next morning, life continues as if nothing has happened. Both sisters leave for school like any normal day. The younger sister tries to wear their mother's locket, but Spider immediately tells her to take it off and leave it at home, fearing it might raise suspicion. Even at school, Spider repeatedly reminds her sister not to tell anyone the truth. Later that day, Spider finally confides in her best friend, sharing the painful secret of their mother's death. She makes her promise not to tell anyone, and admits that all she wants is to stay with her sister. Her friend is heartbroken, but agrees to help and encourages Spider to stay strong. That very evening, Spider's fear almost comes true. Her younger sister returns home from school with a friend and the friend's grandmother. Panicking, Spider scolds her harshly and sends them away. She later explains that no one should ever come near their house, because even a small doubt could expose our secret. Along with fear, another problem begins to grow. Their food supplies are running out, and their mother's monthly income is still 6 days away. With no other option, the sisters decide to survive by eating very little until the money arrives. Soon after, their mother's friend Ray unexpectedly shows up at their door, saying he has come to meet her. Thinking quickly, Spider lies and tells him that their mother went out an hour ago with another woman. Ray is not fully convinced and senses something is wrong. Before leaving, he tells Spider to ask her mother to call him when she returns. After he leaves, Spider's sister panics, repeatedly saying that Ray might come back. Frustrated and scared, Spider yells at her, causing the younger sister to run to the shed and cry beside their mother's hidden body. Realizing her mistake, Spider hugs her sister and explains that Ray is just a drug addict who will leave once he feels unwanted. When the monthly money finally arrives, Spider takes our sister shopping. For the first time in days, they buy proper food, laugh together, and enjoy eating outside. It feels like a moment of normal happiness. However, their peace is disturbed when a shop worker starts taking photographs of them. Spider angrily confronts him and tries to delete the pictures, but the camera is not digital, making it impossible to erase them. This incident leaves Spider uneasy. Back home, she explains to her sister that they receive $600 every month from the government, $200 per person, and that this money keeps coming only because no one knows their mother has died. That night, the sisters talk about their mother and fall asleep, missing her deeply. The next morning, their tension increases when their mother's phone rings. It is a call from child services. An officer informs them that she will visit to check whether their mother is properly taking care of them. Terrified, the sisters begin cleaning their mother's room and find her old teaching certificate, revealing that she was once a teacher before addiction destroyed her life. Spider decides to tell the officer that their mother has gone for a bank job interview. Suddenly, her sister remembers that their mother's car is still parked outside, which could raise suspicion. Neither of them knows how to drive, but Spider somehow manages to move the car and hide it away from sight. When the officer arrives, the sisters confidently repeat their story. They try to present their mother as a responsible and loving parent. The officer inspects the house, the fridge, and their mother's room carefully, finds nothing suspicious, and leaves, asking them to call once their mother returns. Although the sisters feel temporary relief, Spider knows the officer will come back again. The next day, she considers running away and goes to the bus station to ask about tickets. However, she is told she is only 15 and should not travel alone. Later, Spider visits a store to buy supplies and runs into the same shop worker who had taken their pictures earlier. He shows her the photograph and tells her that he enjoys traveling and taking photos. He invites Spider to join him someday. She refuses and returns home. Her sister later sees the photo and teases Spider, saying the boy must like her. Eventually, Spider admits that he invited her to come along. Encouraged by her sister, Spider agrees to meet him. The next day, the worker arrives on an old bike and takes Spider to a forest, where he teaches her how to use a camera and take photographs. He later shows her his darkroom and prints photos for her. Spider learns that one of his clients creates fake documents and certificates. Before dropping her home, the worker gives Spider a small digital camera to keep for a few days. Back home, both sisters feel genuinely happy, slowly beginning to heal and support each other through their grief. Their happiness does not last long. One day, while sitting in a cafe, Ray appears again, furious and demanding to know where their mother is. He threatens Spider and demands $300, saying their mother owes him money. The sisters are terrified because they barely have enough money for themselves. The next day, in desperation, Spider sells the digital camera for only $50 and pawns her mother's necklace to collect the remaining amount. That night, she goes to Ray's van and gives him the money, begging him to leave them alone. Instead, Ray insults their mother, calling her a drug addict and a failure. His words shatter Spider. She runs to the shed and angrily kicks the trunk containing her mother's body, screaming that she hates her mother for trusting someone like Ray. Later, Spider searches online and learns that only an 18-year-old sibling can legally adopt a younger one. She is devastated because she is only 15. When her sister asks about the locket, Spider lies to avoid hurting her. Soon after, their mother's phone receives a voicemail from Spider's best friend's father, who is a sheriff and also knows their mother. He asks her to call him back, which increases Spider's fear. Determined, Spider meets the document forger and asks him to make fake IDs showing she is 18. Although she does not have enough money, she convinces him by explaining how badly she needs them. She also tells her best friend about her plan to run away with her sister and adopt her using a fake identity. Spider later buys back the camera and returns it to the worker, telling him she no longer has time to spend with him. Despite this, they continue meeting, and Spider slowly starts developing feelings for him. However, things spiral out of control when the child services officer returns unexpectedly. The sisters hide in the shed, but the officer searches the area and leaves a warning voicemail, threatening to involve the sheriff if their mother does not respond by evening. Panicking, Spider rushes to collect the fake IDs, only to find that the forger is not home and the documents are not ready. At home, Spider's sister again asks about the locket, and this time Spider finally tells her the truth that she sold it. Her sister is heartbroken, saying the locket meant everything to their mother. In anger, Spider says their mother loved drugs more than them, and reminds her sister of the neglect and abuse they suffered. She even reveals that her sister's asthma was caused by their mother's drug use during pregnancy. Unable to accept this, the younger sister runs outside, suffers a severe asthma attack, and collapses. Realizing she forgot to refill the inhaler, Spider calls 911, but then drives her sister to the hospital herself. At the hospital, doctors refuse to share information with Spider without an adult present. She breaks down completely. Soon the sheriff arrives and confirms that her sister is safe. Spider blames herself and begs him not to separate them. Eventually, the truth comes out. The police recover their mother's body, and the sheriff assures Spider that everything she did was out of love for her sister. At their mother's funeral, both sisters place flowers on her coffin with heavy hearts. The sheriff's family decides to adopt them, ensuring they stay together. Later, the shop worker comes to meet Spider one last time. In the final moments, Spider looks at the locket she managed to buy back. When she opens it, she finds childhood photos of both sisters inside. She wears the locket around her neck, promising to always protect her sister and never leave her side. With this emotional resolution, the story of What We Hide comes to an end.